if you have that lifestyle, but you have no energy, your libido's not great, you're putting on weight and you're now lacking confidence, you're not really living that optimal DINK life, right?
Balls deep.
Welcome to Balls Deep, a humorous yet informative medical show with a mission of optimizing your performance in the bedroom, the bathroom, and the boardroom. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Pazona, a board-certified urologist and CEO of Pazona MD. We hope you enjoy. Now, let's jump right in. Stream Team, another episode of Balls Deep. Kat, welcome back.
Hi.
I thought today we would talk about something fun.
I want to talk about something fun. We're going to talk about shoes?
No, we're going to talk about DINKs.
DINKs?
Yeah, DINKs.
What's a DINK?
Well, it's like a little shot you hit in pickleball, apparently.
You don't play pickleball.
No, I know, but no, dual income, no kids. The DINKs.
Oh, a DINK.
Yes. Your ideal situation.
I have heard of this. I have heard of this term. And yes, that is my dream.
Yes. Unfortunately, you married.
I'm not going to realize it, but it is legitimately my dream.
Unfortunately, married dude with 3 kids. But,
I did. I must really love you.
I guess half the time we're kind of DINKs, right?
We're DINKs 50% of the time.
Yes.
A DINK, a dual income, no kid couple of folks.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I've observed at Pazona MD that we see a lot of guys come in for vasectomies, and I always like getting to know the guys. And we always ask, how many kids do you have? And very commonly the answer is none. And they're there with their partner, their wife. And one time a guy's like, yeah, we're a DINK. And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is that? I'm a boomer or whatever now. I don't even know what the hell I am.
You're not a boomer.
My kids tell me I am. But it's like, no, it means dual income, no kids. So started doing some research and realizing that there's this growing movement of couples who've said, listen, it's not that we don't like kids. Just for us, it's not the right choice. We value our freedom, our time. We love each other. We like traveling. We like the spontaneity, and we just want to keep doing it.
So it's a lifestyle choice.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so it got me thinking that, maybe we're the DINK docs at Pazona MD, and maybe we're best suited to help DINKs out in their lifestyle. And even if you're not a DINK, at some point in your life, you're going to be an empty nester if you've had kids.
Then you could become a DINK.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. You have adult kids. And so regardless, it just kind of brought up these concepts I want to explore today. So,
Okay.
So ready to go deep?
I'm ready to go deep. I want to learn more about these DINKs. Let's do it.
Balls deep.
Concept number 1 is you want to maintain that DINK lifestyle. And the key to that is making sure you don't have kids.
With a kid, you could no longer be a DINK.
You are now what's called a parent.
Now you are a mom or a dad.
Yes. Okay. So if your goal is to maintain that lifestyle of remaining childless, in order to maintain that, you must make a really good choice with your birth control and contraception.
Seems, yes.
Because otherwise you are one, honey, I think I'm pregnant, away from no longer living that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And, I've met plenty of couples in the privileged seat that I have as a physician who weren't anticipating having kids. They had that kid and they're just glowing and they're so happy and wonderful and couldn't have imagined how great it is. And again, we're not making judgments on whether you want to have 0 kids or 9 kids. We're just saying for some people, they've made a commitment to say, I really don't, or we don't want to do this. But again, you're one broken condom, one missed birth control pill away from no longer living that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And so shouldn't come as any surprise that we're big advocates of vasectomies at Pazona MD. And it's not a surprise that we see a lot of DINK couples come in because they realize it as well, that condoms do break, birth control pills fail. And these failure rates, when you look at the real life usage, not the ideal usage, is anywhere from 4 to 13%.
And that's not nothing.
Yeah, that's
really not nothing.
Yeah, we're not talking about like lottery odds. Whereas when you do a vasectomy, and you get tested.
And you follow all the way
Important
through.
caveat, guys, if you don't follow the instructions, pregnancy can happen.
Yes.
If you follow all the instructions, the chance of a pregnancy of tubes reconnecting after documenting 0 sperm is 1 out of 2,500 vasectomies. In other words, a 99.95% chance of working. Those are starting to get into lottery odds of
Those are much better odds.
that truly is a miracle baby. That baby was meant to do either really good things or really bad things on this earth. But at that point, you had truly a miracle. So I think it's awesome that I'm seeing more and more young couples who have decided, hey, this isn't for us. And we're making that committed decision. But if you are thinking you're committed to that lifestyle and you haven't had a vasectomy, you're literally playing with fire. It is a matter of time before an oops is going to happen. Now, there are some more permanent things that women can do, but again, a tubal ligation, that's generally anesthesia.
Intense. It's pretty intense for a woman to go under.
It's not open heart surgery, but the risk of death isn't 0. And really, when we're talking about birth control, we want that at 0. God forbid something happens. You poke needles in people's bellies, and I've seen bad things happen. IUDs, again, very successful, but they're uncomfortable. They require multiple visits. They require changing. They can lead to other issues. So when you look at the safety, the efficacy, and then how easy at Pazona MD we make vasectomies, same day consult, you're in our office for under an hour. We get you high on laughing gas. We put on some Pink Floyd, some Led Zeppelin, some good getting high music. And in under 10 minutes, you're done and you're on the couch. And let me tell you guys, you want to take care of your woman, go get snipped and you will see a level of love and appreciation that you probably haven't seen before because you've manned up, you've taken that responsibility, and it causes a new intimacy. And studies show that guys who get snipped, there's an improvement in the sex life because there's no longer that fear of that oops. So maintain the DINK lifestyle, get snipped.
Couldn't agree more. The next thing you mentioned was optimization. We talked about this earlier. How would you optimize this lifestyle?
If we think about why someone is choosing this DINK lifestyle, it is because they truly value their time, their freedom. They can kind of do what they want, especially if they end up having some sort of remote job. They're like, hey, we're going to New York this weekend. We're going to go for a hike. It's Wednesday. Who cares? We're going out to dinner.
It's freedom.
Yeah, it's a freedom.
On a different level.
Now, if you have that lifestyle, but you have no energy, your libido's not great, you're putting on weight and you're now lacking confidence, you're not really living that optimal DINK life, right? I mean, you have declared like, hey, it's us. It's just the two of us. We want this to be pretty damn awesome because we're not bringing in any little critters, maybe a fur baby at most. But so if you're not optimizing for your health, you're not really embracing that DINK lifestyle to the degree that you can. And one of the easiest things that you can do is just, first off, go get your hormone levels checked. It's amazing how many couples we catch, both men and women, who are living with low testosterone, men and women who are having estrogen-related issues, thyroid-related issues. And it's as simple of a fix as that if you start balancing and optimizing those hormones, that you're like, oh my goodness, like
I feel completely different.
I feel so good. And so I think that's one actionable thing. And then, of course, we've got to have that foundation, all those pillars of wellness, right? And this will lead into our last point. You got to eat good food, move your body together. You've got to find joy in life, get some sleep. Like, here's the good news. It's just the two of you. So hopefully getting on the same page with a lot of these core issues shouldn't be as challenging as, I got to run the kids to soccer practice. You're going to volleyball practice tonight. What's for dinner? Who cares? Just pick up Chick-fil-A and okay, great. Now we're going to go out to dinner with some of the other parents so we can, we can get a break from doing all this parent stuff. It's like, you don't have to do that. And so
you are free.
You are free, But it's so, so important if you truly want to embrace and optimize that lifestyle you were trying to create. You got to make good health decisions. So get on the same page with your partner, get your hormones checked. And we're going to do a upcoming episode talking about that alignment with the partner. So I'll just kind of leave it at that as a bit of a teaser.
Okay. There was a third thing we talked earlier that you were going to mention about this particular lifestyle. And it started with a P.
What was it?
Prevent.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Protect, prevent.
You're going to protect.
I didn't have a pen. I didn't write it down, but it started with a P. And I figured if I said P, that would jog your memory and you'd jump right in there.
Well, listen, as a guy, you say the word,
No,
it starts with a P, and my mind goes to
no,
one thing.
no.
No, I had a cute little acronym, and I'm like, what the hell
Well,
does
you
P
came up
stand
with
for?
MOP, which
Yeah,
honestly
yeah.
I did not think was uplifting.
All right.
But it was P,
Yeah, it was prevent, right?
prevent.
Yes. So
That's it.
What do we want to prevent? You want to prevent illness later in life.
For sure.
You want to prevent the downfall of your DINK lifestyle, because here's the truth. As we age, it's not just about how long you live, it's how long you live healthy. And so again, if we go back to why are you embracing this lifestyle? Well, I want to have the freedom to go take trips. Well, if you keep doing what you're doing today, 20 years from now, you are going to be morbidly obese. Your knees are going to have zero cartilage, and you won't be able to walk down a hallway. So tell me how you're going to keep cruising throughout Europe and backpacking all over the place if that's where you're headed. How are you going to enjoy that spontaneous trip if you have to cancel it because now you're sick with pneumonia because you've got type 2 diabetes and your immune system is a wreck? So I don't think we don't often think about our future self. And I would imagine if I were embracing that DINK lifestyle, if I went back to the younger version of myself when I thought I was a bit invincible and didn't have to worry about all those health things, I'll worry about that in 10, 20 years. I would imagine that you're not spending as much time thinking about that, and that, yeah, you're enjoying that you can go out and have a couple drinks every night. And you're enjoying that you get to eat what you want and live this glorious life. But one day, if you don't protect your health, that's all going to go away. And because you don't have kids, you may not have that same support that other people do. You know, we've all in recent years either directly taken care of or seen people have to take care of their aging parents. And I'm sure they were quite appreciative that we were available for them. Well, if you're choosing to not have children, you've got to think forward, like, listen, it's just gonna be the two of you. And boy, that would be really hard if you're in a couple and you're not aligned on your health and one person's really sick. You're going to start sort of begrudging that person, right? And never mind the fact that when you're ill and you have all these diseases, you make less money, you have more sick days. So why are we talking about all this? You want that lifestyle. So you've got to think about your future health. And it's all the stuff we just alluded to in the optimization phase. That's the beauty of it. If you optimize for the selfish now of, I want to feel great today, most likely that's going to take care of yourself down the road. As long as your selfish now isn't, I drink and eat whatever I want and I don't move my body.
Right. And it happens, I think this aging process happens a bit more quickly than you think. Yeah, it's easy to be 25 and you feel invincible, but the years pass quickly.
Well, and it comes, what we've learned actually in following different cohorts of aging, it's not a slow, steady decline. So everyone thinks, I'll just wait till I hit this certain level and then I'll just climb back out of it. I'll do something then. What researchers have shown is there are periods of life, and two of them are at age 44 and 60, whereby you just fall off a cliff and you don't ever get back to that point. Now, that's not everybody. You can prevent that, but it's not this slow, gradual thing. Like, it is sudden, right. And it's one of these events that happens like, ooh, wow, I just woke up and I felt a lot older. So as we're talking to all of the DINKs out there, but honestly, this advice goes for everybody, but we're focusing on these folks because, again, they've already declared, like, it's about us. It's about the couple above and beyond everything else. And we want to enjoy doing all these things. Well, if you do, nail down that contraception, optimize your health now, and that'll prevent disease later.
Sounds great. I've learned a lot about DINKs that I did not know today.
Have you ever heard of
That they exist.
Have you heard of a DINK wad?
No.
Well, that's what I used to
DINK.
call some guys back in, middle school and such. But
Okay, well, that's just rude.
But also, so that's a dual income, no kids with a dog.
Oh, it's a thing. I thought you were just
yeah.
making a really stupid joke.
No.
Okay.
Well, I started with a stupid joke. But
With a dog.
yeah, with
okay.
a dog. So
Okay.
yeah, it sounds
Okay,
awesome.
we have really educated people here today.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of takeaway. I don't even think we need my segment.
We're just skipping it.
I don't know.
All right, well, fine. DINKs.
DINKs.
Thank
Hi,
you.
DINKs.
Listen, whether you're a DINK or not, or if you know a DINK or anyone who's approaching that phase of life where, maybe it's more about the couple and less about the kids. And we're going to get into the next episode here where we argue it should always be about the couple first. Spread this to some friends, let them know that, there's people speaking to them. And again, I think that we're the new DINK docs, really as a urologist, we are the right people. And one thing we didn't get into, a lot of DINKs have trouble finding a physician who will do a vasectomy.
Oh, really?
Because there's still these old school, I'll dare say, call them chauvinistic or patriarchal guys who are like, oh, Sonny, you're going to change your mind one day. You'll want a kid. I'm not going to do this. That's absurd. If you
Don't
are
like that one.
If you are an adult of right mind and you have given this some thought and you've decided you don't want to have a kid, then by all means come and see us and we will do your vasectomy. I think it is so arrogant to think that we as physicians should be telling people to do this.
I don't think should be making decisions for other people's bodies.
I agree. So DINKs, come see us. We're happy to get that vasectomy done so you can maintain that lifestyle, optimize your hormones, and keep you living that life. And even if you're not a DINK, these are all things that are important to any adult and couple that's out there. So please spread the word. Share this video. And until next time, show yourself a little bit more love and grace. We're all works in progress, and these are opportunities to grow. Thanks, and have a great day.
I just like saying DINKs.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Balls Deep. If you'd like to join our stream team of listeners, please click the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. For more information about our practice, Pazona MD, please visit PazonaMD.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. The show does not constitute the practice of medicine. No doctor-patient relationship is formed through this podcast or any of the social media channels related to this show. The use of this information is at the user's own risk. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.